one girl, one blue blanket, two pillows, and a secret no one was supposed to find. That's all that vanished with 13-year-old Rachel Mellon on January 31st, 1996. No winter coat. Despite sub-zero temperatures, no wallet, no purse, not even her cherished Sony Walkman. Bolingbrook, Illinois is a southwest suburb of Chicago. Rachel Mellon Skemp, 13, a 7th grader, homesick with a sore throat, disappeared from her own bed. Nearly 3 decades later, Rachel Marie Mellon is still missing. Rachel's mother, Amy, is originally from the Philippines. She met and married Jeff Skemp in the early 1980s and gave birth to Rachel on October 1, 1982. The marriage ended when Rachel was 3 years old. Shortly after, Amy married Mellon. This is Rachel's story. Her family clings to the one thing she left behind, her diary. A disturbing, heartbreaking diary. Pages full of secrets no 13-year-old should ever have to write. And yet the man at the center of those entries, her stepfather, remains free, with unexplained scratches on his arms and a history too dark to ignore. Some say if authorities had searched that broken-down car in the garage, the one that mysteriously never ran, Rachel's story might have ended that very night. This is the haunting case of Rachel Mellon Kemp. January 31st, 1996, Bolingbrook, Illinois. The wind chill, -20 degrees. Snow blanketed the streets. Rachel stayed home from school that day, battling a sore throat. Her friends at B.J. Ward Middle School never saw her again. She wasn't alone that morning. Her stepfather, Vincent Mellon, was there too, the only adult in the house. At 10:45 a.m., Rachel called her grandmother to say thank you for Christmas gifts. It was an ordinary call, until it wasn't. Mid-conversation, her voice lowered to a whisper. "Is he there?" her grandmother asked. "Yes," Rachel whispered, "I need to go now." She hung up. That was the last time anyone outside the home heard her voice. Vincent later told police that after the call, they played Nintendo for about an hour. Then, around 1:30 p.m., Rachel supposedly went to her room for a nap, wrapped in a blue blanket, resting on her favorite pillows. At 2:30, Vincent claimed he checked on her, still sleeping. Then, in the middle of one of the coldest days of the year, Vincent says he decided to walk the family's white German shepherd, Duke, leaving the front door unlocked. He claimed Duke chased a rabbit, slipped his collar, and ran into a nearby field. Vincent didn't pursue the dog. Instead, he returned home around 3 p.m. He never looked for the dog. He never checked on Rachel. At 3:15, Rachel's younger sister Ashley came home from school and immediately noticed her big sister wasn't there. She asked Vincent where Rachel was. He didn't have an answer, and he didn't seem to care. "I didn't really look around the neighborhood, as far as thinking something was suspicious. I don't know what to say." That's what he told the media. Cold, indifferent. Around 4:30, a real estate agent found Duke wandering alone and returned him. Moments later, Rachel's mother Amy arrived home with her son, Jason. When she realized Rachel was gone, she called the police. Rachel had been missing for hours by then. Only the blue blanket and 2 pillows were gone. Her shoes, coat, wallet, and Walkman still in the room, still untouched. Who leaves home in sub-zero temperatures barefoot and coatless? No one. Rachel didn't run away. She didn't leave willingly. She was taken. Let's dig about Rachel's family. Vincent promised to raise Rachel like his own. But Vincent was the kind of man who makes promises just to control you. A narcissist, abusive, violent. By the early 90s, violence inside the Mellon household was no secret. Vincent once pushed Amy down the stairs. She filed a restraining order, but then took him back. The cycle began: abuse, apology, repeat. Rachel watched. Rachel suffered. Vincent never treated her like a daughter. He used her to threaten Amy. He wielded control like a weapon. In 1995, at just 12 years old, Rachel ran away. She slept outside a friend's house, but her step-grandparents brought her back to the very place she feared. That summer, she visited her biological dad, Jeff, in Dallas. Before returning to Illinois, she begged her uncle to let her stay. No one understood how desperate she was. When she came back, she wasn't the same. The day before she vanished, January 30th, Rachel was seen crying at her school locker. When her friends asked why, she simply said, I have a problem, but I'll take care of it myself. She never got the chance. After her disappearance, police searched her bedroom. Under her pillow, they found a steak knife, a real weapon, a last line of defense for a terrified child, and hidden beneath her mattress, a diary. Inside were entries that detailed inappropriate touching from Vincent, his sick excuse that he was teaching her how predators act. It wasn't just her diary. Police also found a disturbing, out-of-print book in the house, Daddy's Girl, a graphic novel describing abusive father-daughter relationships. The puzzle pieces were horrifyingly clear: Vincent's scratched arms, the missing blanket. Rachel didn't vanish, she was silenced. Rachel's biological father, Jeff, quit his job and flew in immediately. He walked into her room, put on her Walkman, and pressed play. The last song she listened to? Hand in My Pocket by Alanis Morissette. Vincent's response to Jeff's confrontation. She must have been taken while I was walking the dog. No urgency, no emotion. Vincent failed a lie detector test. Police seized DNA. But without Rachel's body, they couldn't make charges stick. Then rumors spread that Rachel may have been pregnant, that Vincent had motive beyond fear. In 2003, Vincent was charged with domestic battery against a minor. In 2017, a DUI. The violence continued long after Rachel disappeared. In 2002, the town of Bolingbrook planted a tree for Rachel in Whippler Park, across from her old home. Her mother, Amy, refused memorial services. She and Vincent moved to Tennessee, severing ties with investigators. Her father, Jeff, stayed. He's never changed his phone number, just in case she calls. In 2021, 25 years after her disappearance, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children released an age progression photo of Rachel at 38. Today, she would be 41. A girl who dreamed of being a teacher, a daughter who wanted safety, a voice that was never heard again. Someone knows what happened, and someone, maybe you, might hold the missing piece. There is still a $10,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. Because Rachel Mellon deserves justice, and silence can't be the end of her story. And as long as we remember her, as long as we speak her name, as long as we demand answers, that justice remains possible. Could Vincent have actually been innocent all this time? What makes a mother stand by the man suspected of killing her daughter? Share your thoughts in the comments. If this story made your heart race or your mind spiral, you're not alone. We tell the real, raw, and unfiltered stories behind crimes and the red flags we often ignore. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bells so you never miss the next true crime tale, because sometimes the scariest stories are the ones closest to home. Thanks for watching.